right there ending in 4600, those are debit cards.
Okay.
And if you look to the side of where it says bank, it'll say debit.
And what does that tell you? What's the difference between it saying debit versus those initial three?
It's the bank. The first three are a bank account. The next two through JP Morgan Chase are debit cards. They're identified debit cards.
So one is coming from the actual card. The other was linking to an account. Is that correct? Okay. And what was the linking result for those two debit card?
It didn't work. If you look, it says error, suspected fraud.
Now, through your time as a fraud examiner, how do places such as Cash App alert or say that something is suspected fraud?
I don't work for that company, so I can't testify to exactly what their methods are, but it is fairly common for there to be automated things in place, such as if names don't match on accounts, that they'll flag it and they won't link immediately.
So, for example, if Tammy King's account was adding a card with somebody else's name, it may flag it.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, those two debit card numbers, is that the same number tried twice, or what are we looking at?
I believe it's the same number tried twice. If you highlight those two and scroll to the right, it'll actually show dates and times of the attempt. So right there, it appears that it was tried twice. Right there under created at, those are the dates and the times, and since there are two different times, it was tried twice.
Okay. And are you familiar with what UTC time is?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
Coordinated Universal Time. It is the worldwide standard that all of our time zones are based off of.
And is UTC time and Central Time the same time?
No, not at all.
Do you know how many hours different UTC time is from Central Standard Time?
It's actually tricky. It changes depending on daylight savings time. I think we are currently at a 6-hour difference, that we are, I believe, 6 hours behind UTC time, but depending on daylight savings time, it could be different.
So is it fair to say that in the period we're in now, it's -6, but in the other part of daylight savings, it's something like -5?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if during this period of time it'd be -6, are you able to tell us what time these transactions were?
If those transactions are clocked on UTC time at February 6th at 12:14 a.m., then they likely, our time occurred February 5th at 6:14 p.m.
So 6 hours previously, it would have been on the evening of February 5th at 6:15, correct?
6:14.
6:14, I apologize. And so that's on both of those, where they tried it roughly at the same time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you said both of these ultimately were unsuccessful, correct?
Correct.
Now, here is this next section. What do we see?
That is another attempt at linking a financial account to Ms. King's Cash App.
And was this one successful or unsuccessful?
Yes, ma'am, it was successful.
And can you tell us at what date and time this one was?
UTC time, February 6th at approximately 12:11 a.m. So in our central time, February 5th at about 6:11 p.m.
And I know earlier when we were talking about days, you arrived to the scene on Friday, February 7th, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So what day would February 5th have been?
Wednesday?
So these transactions are occurring at about 6 p.m. on Wednesday, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I keep making you do math up there. All right. Now we get down here. What does this line 64 mean?
Attempted peer-to-peer payments.
Okay. And are these payments, do they go in most recent to oldest or oldest to most recent?
It looks like they are going most recent to older.
And now when you issue Cash App subpoenas, are you getting the entirety of somebody's Cash App history, or does sometimes you only get portions?
I can't testify to that. Whenever I asked for February. So I believe the company gave me everything they had for February.
Okay, so it's possible that there could have been other months of transactions, but we specifically subpoenaed February.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I want to start from the oldest, if that's okay. What date was the first February transaction?
February 1st.
And what do we see happening here? Explain to us what one of these lines would show.
Okay. So it has the date. I'm hitting the screen. It has the date and time that the transaction occurred, and it says paid out, which means that money went from Ms. King's Cash App account to somebody else's account. And then the next column is how much money she sent them.
Okay. After how much, what do we get to?
We have a note that can be placed on a transaction. This one says Taco Bell, so whatever reason that she sent that money for, she noted Taco Bell.
Okay. And then we move forward. What are these next lines?
That is Ms. King's name, and then those are account tokens, and then cash balance. I would need to see the top of the column.
Okay. That.
So the sender subject, that means that CFQ number is Ms. King.
Okay. And what do we see in column H?
Request.
Okay. And what does request mean?
That she's requesting to send the money. Or that somebody's requesting to get that money. Sorry.
Okay, and so for things like Cash App, what does it mean for someone to request? How does that work?
It means you can say, I, Ashton Scott, need money, you owe me money. It's almost like me sending you a bill. So I can send you a request through the app and say, will you give me this money?
And who was it that requested the Taco Bell money from Tammy King?
Tara King.
And is the rest of the columns just some further data that it gives?
Yes, ma'am, the IP address.
I want to move forward a little bit. Just to the next line. What are the next two transactions for, and for what amount?
The next two transactions, one is for $20 for phone case for new phone, please. I'm guessing that's a typo. Release. And then the one after that is for $29. $29 for case. It's the same one I have now, but right size.
And were these also requests?
Yes, ma'am.
And who requested those two items?
Tara King.
And ultimately, were these requests made? Were they paid out?
Yes, they were. If you stop right there under column B, it says paid out.
So the 3 requests sent in early February from Tara to Tammy were all completed. Tammy sent her the money.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to skip ahead a little to line 75 where we see the date February 5th. And is there a transaction? What transaction is happening here? What do we know about it?
On line 75, February 5th at approximately 12:32 a.m., which in our time would actually be February 4th at about 6:32 p.m., there is a payout from Tammy King's account in the amount of $55.
And we see that this says paying versus request.
Correct.
What's the difference here?
Tammy initiated that.
Okay. And who did she send that $55 to?
Tara King.
Okay. And so are all of the transactions in February up to this point, which would really be February 4th, were they all to Tara King?
Yes, ma'am.
And was all the money sent?
Yes, ma'am.
Now I want to go directly above that. What time would this transaction on line 74 have been?
February 5th at approximately 4:50 p.m. UTC time. Math. So February 5th minus, we said 6, so approximately 10:50 a.m. there is a transaction for $350.
And what is this part we see in section B?
Expired, waiting on sender.
So was this transaction completed?
No, it expired. It didn't go through.
And whose account did this transaction come from?
Miss Tammy King.
And who was it to?
Somebody with the username Ratstar.
Is that who we spoke about earlier? You said his name was Jaden Landry?
Yes, ma'am. Jaden Andrew Landry.
And then after that, what's this next transaction?
The next transaction, February 5th, is for $1,000, and it says amount exceeded, recipient monthly receive limit.
Okay, and who would the recipient be in this transaction? Would it be Tammy's phone or whoever she's sending it to?
Whoever she's sending it to.
Okay, so this says this amount exceeds the recipient's receive limits, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And who, was this a pay or a request?
This was a request. Somebody requested that money from Tammy.
And who was it that requested that money from Tammy?
Tara King.
And this would have been at about 2 p.m. on February 5th, is that correct?
Minus 6. Yes, ma'am.
Right after that, what's the next transaction that we see?
Another one, also on February 5th at approximately 6:05 p.m. our time. There is a payout.
Is it 6:05 our time or about 2 p.m. our time?
I'm sorry, about 2 p.m. our time. Correct.
Sorry, I keep making you do math, I apologize.
That's okay.
So this is a transaction that was successful.
Yes, ma'am.
And same questions, was this a pay or a request?
This was a request from someone else to Ms. King.
And who was that someone else?
Tara King.
And as we kind of keep going up, I'll stay here. Who are the next 6 transactions from?
They're all to Tara King.
And are they requests?
Yes, ma'am.
And are they all within the same kind of few minutes at around 2 o'clock on the 5th?
Yes, 05, 06, 06, 07. Yes, ma'am.
So does it seem like these are happening in pretty rapid succession?
Yes.
And what is happening with, what do you notice about kind of columns B and C? What's happening?
Some of them are paid out, some of them are not. And they are for varying amounts, 300, 200, 200, 150, 10, 20. So, like I said, some of them, the money did leave Ms. King's account and was received by Tara King, and then some of them are showing amount exceeded.
So at around 2 p.m. on February 5th, which is Wednesday, money is being taken from Tammy King's account and being put into Tara King's account. Is that fair?
Yes, ma'am.
And now, does Cash App tell you who exactly is sending or requesting, or does it just tell you what accounts are doing it?
It tells you what accounts are doing it.
Okay. So it doesn't tell you that, say it's mine, it doesn't say that Miss Willis is sitting here sending the money. It just says Miss Willis's account is sending the money. Is that correct? And then and so those last kind of 6, is this when the Cash App payments stop as far as what you got on the return?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, we go to this next section. What is different from what we saw earlier with these P2P payments versus transfers?
The transfers are money coming into Tammy King's Cash App account, leaving her bank account and going into her Cash App account.
Okay. Is it also the same as when you're transferring it from your Cash App account back to your bank account?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'll skip this bottom line 103, but let's start with 102, okay?
Okay.
What are we looking at here? What date and time was this?
This was February 5th, 2025, 12:32 a.m. So in our time.
Would be about 6 p.m. on the 4th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And does this correspond with that same Tuesday night $50 transfer to Tara King that we saw?
It's around the same time.
Now we move to this next one in 101. What time would that be at?
2:49 p.m. So around 8:49 a.m. I'm sorry, 10:49 a.m.
Okay. And does that kind of correspond with where earlier we saw things starting to happen about 10:50 a.m.? Is that about the same time?
Around the same time.
Okay. And what is happening here? Are these transfers successful?
Yes.
Okay. And we can see, are they coming from the Cash App balance or are they coming from Ms. King's bank account?
They're coming from Ms. King's Wells Fargo account.
And then we can see they're going, where is it going?
It is money coming from Ms. King's bank account and going into her Cash App account. Cash App can hold funds. It doesn't just transfer from one to the other. It can hold them as well.
Okay, so at this point, money is coming from Tammy King's Wells Fargo account and being held inside the Cash App account. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay. And what amounts are being transferred from Ms. King's bank account into her Cash App account?
Various amounts. There looks like a cluster, each of them for $200. It looks like there is a failed attempt at $20,000 and another failed attempt at $5,000. And then there are some more successful attempts. You're scrolling.
Sorry.
It's okay.
So we have these 2 failed, correct?
Correct.
And then we move on, you said they become successful again.
Yes.
Okay.
Lower amounts.
And on these lower amounts, can you tell us about what date and time these are happening?
Do you want UTC or do you want our time?
Whichever one is easier for you.
Okay. So the complete for the 500 and the 600 is in our time, February 5th at approximately, that one is at 6:12 p.m.
So in the evening of February 5th is when these 500s are being moved from Ms. King's bank account to her Cash App.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we see another one that ends up being failed, correct?
Correct.
What was the amount of that one?
$2,500.
And going up from there, what starts happening?
Going up from there, there is one more completed transaction for $1,000. And then there is instant waiting on link card hurdle resolution. And I do not know what that means off the top of my head without the guide.
No problem. But clearly something different is occurring than our completions or fails, correct?
Correct.
And what are the amounts there?
$3,553.85.
So at this point, is it fair to say a substantial amount of money has moved from Ms. King's bank account to her Cash App?
Correct.
And as we go down, are these just kind of more information about where, what accounts and what phones are utilizing this account?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what phone is linked to Miss King's account?
It looks like the Moto G Stylus 5G. There's two of them. One says 2022, one says 2024.
Is the 2024 the most recent one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then on the second page here, is this just more data that comes from Cash App?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay.
If you go back out, I would like to show you something here, to where the $3,553 was. If you go over how those two are different, those top two, go over some more. And some more. Right there under column F, it says cash out. So cash in is money coming into Miss King's Cash App account from her bank account. And cash out is someone attempting to transfer money out of her Cash App account.
Okay, so this is the money that is in Miss King's Cash App account is now being attempted to go elsewhere.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And those, it looks like something held them up. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. You also did a Cash App for Tammy King. Is that correct?
Correct.
Go ahead. No, you're fine.
The name on the data for Ms. King's Cash App account, there was a user token, Cash App token. That's the jumble of letters that don't specify a specific name. So I did a subpoena to Cash App for that to see the user information. Who that belonged to.
And do these 4 documents correspond to the same 4 documents we talked about with Miss King's?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.